I was talking to a guy the other day, and he said to me, for a fitness coach, you spend the majority of your time talking about, well, essentially mindset. Talking about concepts that aren't fitness related. And he's like, why is that? And I was like, the answer is honestly that, well, most of the time, fitness and mindset are the yin and yang. And they go hand in hand with each other. But on a relative scale, fitness, exercise prescription, what choices to make, the nuances of exercise and nutrition and things like that. That is actually the easy part. It's the simpler part, especially if you want to get into actual coaching. If you want to talk into the broad spectrums, I give it away all the time. You want to transform your life? Lift weights every day for 45 minutes. Chuck on a weight vest, backpack, kettlebell, dumbbell, sled. Don't really care what format the weight comes in. Pick a weight, carry it for 45 minutes, going as fast as you can. Eat an animal-based diet, eat meat, fruit, maybe a little bit of veg. Drink 4 liters of water and take a daily photo. You do that shit, and that's the broad spectrum version of it, but you do that, you'll change your life. You'll be a different human being. You'll show up in this world as a completely different fucking man. That's actually the easy part. That's the simple, straightforward part of it all. The hard part's what's between your ears. The hard part is the stories running through your head. The hard part are the habits and the notions and the concepts that you've ingrained into yourself across a lifetime of choices. And most of it is completely under the surface. So that's the part I want to talk about. That's the part that we discuss here. It's the concepts, it's the shifting the paradigm, it's moving the needle, seeing where you can get to on this front. Because, well, that's where you're actually going to see the difference. That's where the actual results are going to come through. Look, to be honest, and I can be, people call it arrogant, I call it egotistical, confident. But if you want great results, the simple answer is hire me. That's the simple answer. You hire me as a coach and I'll transform your body. I will, if you show up and do the work, I can guarantee you in 126 days you'll be a different man, unquestionably. But getting your headspace right is where the big changes come from. And that's why we talk about this. But they do go hand in hand, because a lot of the lessons about getting headspace right come from or are reinforced by doing the fitness side. The reason why I always harp on about fitness is because it's the gateway drug to everything else you need in this life. It teaches you discipline, it teaches you consistency, it teaches you follow through, it teaches you being a man of your word, it teaches you grit, determination, all these kinds of things. It gives you the skills to show up every single day, no matter what. It shows you that hard work, effort, and consistency create drastic change. That doing things for one day doesn't matter, but doing them consistently over and over and over again will completely change your life. It shows you that most people don't even know what actual effort and hard work is, that they've never actually worked hard enough. It's like the people who talk about overtraining. Most people have never worked hard enough in their life to come anywhere near overtraining. It's about these kinds of things. But it's why we have to get your head right. It's why you've got to show up here first. You've got to do these kinds of things and shift your paradigm and how you view it. And then everything else gets easier. And then everything else flows from there. But until you get the headspace right, until you get the thinking right, well, the rest doesn't actually matter. So that's why I come out here and talk about that. Because, look, the honest to God truth is that if you wanted to find the answers, if you wanted to figure out how to do a better bench press or a bent row or a deadlift or a squat or whatever the fuck it is, there's 1,001 YouTube videos out there on how to do it. There is. You could figure that stuff out. But getting you in the right mental capacity to do the work, getting you into the right position to show up and do what is necessary, well, that's a harder task. That's one that most people don't have. That's the one that, well, is actually required. And that's the one that's going to make a difference overall. Because, well, as I said, we've got to get up here right. We've got to get this headspace right. We've got to get this position correct first. And when you figure that side out, that's where the big breakthroughs come from. That's where the massive transformations come from. That's where, well, you go from 0 to 100. Because, let's be realistic here, most people have exercised at some point in their life. Most people have dabbled in the gym, cardio, whatever the fuck version you want to do. Whether it's classes, personal training, something. Most people have had a go. And yeah, there are degrees of how effective it is. There are degrees on how good the results you are going to get are. But to the most part, if you actually just showed up, if you actually just followed through, if you just gave it effort and consistency, even if the programming was horrendous, if you go from sitting on the couch stuffing your face with donuts to exercising regularly and just choosing what most people would consider healthy foods, you would see results. You would see progress. But we need to get your headspace right around it. Because most people want to go to the gym for 30, 60, 90 days. We built in this societal concept of short-term fixes, especially when it comes to health and fitness. And don't get me wrong, I understand why that's an easier place to get your head around. Even down to things of, my programs run in 126-day blocks. And people are like, oh, that just seems too long. Like, it's 36 extra days. 36 extra days. But perceptionally, people are like, oh my God, who could do that? 126 days? Are you crazy? It's 4 months. A little bit over 4 months. But that's, for most people, beyond the scope. And so this again comes back to that concept of it's about what's up here. It's about the thought process, it's about the paradigm, it's about how you view the things. Because the honest to God truth is, the day you start exercising and the day you start progressing forward is the day that you can never go back. If you truly want to make a change, if you truly want to see results, if you truly want to get off the roller coaster and become the person that you know you should be, the day you make that decision, you can never go back. The reason why most people fail is that they're like, I'm going to do this for this short period of time. And this applies to everything in life, but fitness and exercises is just the most common and the simplest explanation. But pretty much everyone goes, I will do this for whatever the length of time period is. And once that's done, I will go back to who I was. But the problem is that you cannot actually make a change. You cannot see long-term results. You cannot make a lasting change for as long as you are still tied to who you were. I saw one the other day, and the concept was that you have to let go of your biography. You have to stop repeating the same stories about this is who I am. This is what I do. This is my past and this is my history. Because for as long as you continue on that, continue to repeat that, continue to show up that way, well, you're fucked. But it's a really daunting task to let go of those things. Because you're like, but this is how it's always been. This is who I am. This is my story. Cool. If you've built the most epic life and you love every aspect of your life, fantastic. Keep telling that story, because that story is serving you. If you don't, if you aren't happy with where you're at in life, if you aren't satisfied with where this life has brought you, well, then you need to change the narrative. You need to change the story that you're telling. You cannot continue to show up that way. Because it's the height of madness to think that you can repeat the same thing over and over and over again and expect a different outcome. It's insanity. So you must change the way you show up. You must change the story. You must change the narrative. You must change the work and the actions that you are taking. But it starts with the mindset. It starts with who you are and how you perceive the work that you're about to undertake. Because that work is the most important work that you will ever do. It seems drastic, right? It seems crazy to make that statement, but it's the truth. You aren't happy, you aren't satisfied, you don't like where you're at in life. Well, the literally most important work that you could ever undertake is to become the version of you that lights you up. The version of you that builds the life that you can be proud of. The version of you that builds a life that you are happy with. Not the mentally deranged, and that's honestly the truthful version. The mentally deranged version of you that goes, I hate this version of me. I hate where I'm at in life. I hate my body, my relationships, my business, my finances, whatever the fuck it is. I hate this. So I'll change for the next 90 days. And then I can revert back to who I was and things will be different. Stop and actually think about that. Because that's what you are doing. Every time you don't go, I am drawing a line in the sand about the version of me I have been. I am no longer willing to continue being that version. I am no longer willing to continue making those decisions. Until you draw that line in the sand, until you make a firm, hard, concrete decision about that version of you, nothing will change. You will forever stay stuck. As I said, it's mentally deranged. I hate this. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. Let's just keep doing it. And you need to think about it in that way. And that is why I talk about mindset. Is why I come out here and talk about concepts and perception and paradigms and these kinds of things. Because you are stuck. And only you can unstuck yourself. Unstick yourself. Only you can make a change that's going to result in something different. Because you're the only one who can shift that belief system. It's up to you, unfortunately. Because nobody's going to come save you. Nobody's going to bail you out. Nobody's going to come and wave a magic wand. And now you're different. You have to make a decision. You'll have to let go of your biography. Stop writing those memoirs. Stop repeating the same story over and over and over again. As discussed many times, most people die at 25 and wait to be buried till at 75. They live the same year on repeat. Hell, half the time they live the same month or the same 90 days on repeat over and over and over again and wonder why nothing changes. Because you didn't fundamentally fix what was up here. You didn't fix what was in your head. You didn't fix how you viewed the world. You didn't fix how you show up. You just continued to do the same thing over and over and over again and expected a different result. This is the definition of insanity. So you have to become different. You have to show up differently. You have to be a different man. Because nothing, and I do firmly mean, nothing will change until you make that decision. But remember, you are in control. Your life is all your fault, because it is a direct reflection of your habits, your thoughts, and your choices. Now it's up to you to take responsibility. Now it's up to you to be a different man. Now it's up to you to show up differently. To draw that line in the sand. To make that conscious decision about who you want to be and how you want your life to go. Then, and only then, can life become different for you. Then and only then can the world adjust accordingly. You are in control, but you must make those decisions. So the question, and the only question that is left, is, are you willing to make those decisions? Are you willing to do what is necessary? Are you willing to step the fuck up and start demanding greatness?